A point of interest offers a great way to catch the attention of a visitor and provide a wealth of useful information about that particular point of interest, including directions, various options for contact information, and background on the point of interest. Now, if the term seems a little vague, that's actually by design. You can use a point of interest to describe a landmark or park, any number of types of businesses, even a real estate listing. And setting one up is relatively easy. You start by logging into your control panel, of course, and you'll see POI over here in the margin. Click on it, and let's select Point of Interest. From here, you can click on Add a New Page if that's what you'd like to do, and when you do, you'll find Point of Interest here in the drop-down. But for expediency, I've created a page to use as an example that I'll open for editing by clicking over here. Now, if this was a new page, you'd want to title this something simple and self-explanatory. It's how the location will be referenced throughout your website. I'm working on a point of interest for the Town Toyota Events Center. You'll find everything you need to create the point of interest as you move step by step through this toolbar. Starting on the Location tab, I've added the mailing address here, but entering the physical address is critical as it's used to establish the geolocation of the point of interest for mapping purposes. You'll notice that as I complete the address, the geomap below pinpoints its location. If the location point comes out in the wrong spot, you can simply click and drag it to the proper location and then drop it there. Next up in the process is the Contact tab. You'll want to fill out everything carefully here. You can see that there are fields for primary and secondary phone numbers, contact email address, and website. And if this is a business, you can tell your visitors more by including their hours of operation, and all this information will appear in the point of interest listing. The Social Media tab is your one-stop shop for managing all of your social networking resources. You'll see all the options available to tap into your social media sites. Just enter the URL for the site in question, and these will all be available to click on in the point of interest page. If you click on the Media tab, you have the ability to add all sorts of graphics and audio to your point of interest page, including a logo, video, and photos. And you can see we already have a logo and some additional photos here. It's actually very easy to add images to your gallery. Basically, it's just click, drag, and drop. Start with images larger than 640 pixels wide by 480 pixels high, but try to avoid going over 1,000 pixels as that will affect load time. I just happen to have a cropped and sized image I want to add, so I'll simply locate it in my image files and click, drag, and drop it right here. You'll also notice there's a space for an image title, so I think I'll name this one High School Basketball. This sort feature can be especially helpful. It allows you to change the order the images appear on the page. All you have to do is click here and assign a chronological value corresponding to where you want it. And if you have a video or perhaps an audio clip you want to make available on the page, you can just enter the URL links right here. Now over here on the Description tab, you can embellish with as much information as you'd like. This will appear as an additional piece of information on the point of interest page and can also pay off for search engine optimization. Speaking of which, these elements down here will have the greatest effect on your SEO value. You can group similar search results on your point of interest pages by using common tags. These would be a little more detailed than a category, kind of a subcategory, such as bed and breakfasts being a subcategory of accommodations. Most importantly, you'll want your meta title to include the keywords that relate to this page that people would be searching for. So I've put in Town Toyota Center and Wenatchee Events Center. You can separate the titles with a vertical line. You'll usually find that key above your backslash on your keyboard. Try to keep this fairly brief and definitely below 70 characters. That's characters, not words. You want to make this unique to each individual POI page. Meta keywords have lost their SEO luster lately and aren't as important as they once were. Still, it doesn't hurt to enter some well-chosen keywords. You want to keep it to no more than 20 to 25. And the meta description is as important as the meta title. Here in the meta description text box, you'll want to use complete sentences that would answer a question people might use to search. These days they're often verbal, like, Alexa, what concerts are coming up? Or, where can we go ice skating? Try to anticipate what terms people would use to find this point of interest. By the way, a little SEO sidebar. If you're wondering about the difference, the meta title will appear at the top of the search engine results, where the meta description will appear in the details below the title. And over here you see the Categories tab. Categories are a great way to create groupings of similar points of interest. For instance, you can see we've connected this page to concerts and music venues and sports venues. You may find you need to create a category for your new page. It's a relatively simple process, but if you need a little help, you'll find a tutorial in our library. That completes the setup of our point of interest page. Obviously, it's easy to revisit this if you need to update any of the information. So let's go over here. We'll save our work. And we can click here to see how the finished product turned out. You can see the images we put in. Over here is the description we wrote up. And our contact information and social networking links are right here. And you'll even find a detailed map of how to find Town Toyota Center down here. As I mentioned, there are many creative ways to utilize the point of interest feature. The good news is, any way you use it, the process of setting up a page is the same.